Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking all about budget basics. So this video is going to be probably pretty short and sweet, but it's going to be right to the point. The first thing that we want to take a look at when it comes to budgeting is, what is a budget made of? How do you budget? And I'll be honest, what I'm going to say is going to sound really simple, but that's really truly what a budget is. I'm boiling it down to the bare bones here because I know for myself it was so overwhelming to understand how to budget and what went into a budget and why we needed one and all of those different things. There were a lot of different, there was a lot of information out there, but none of it was simple enough for me to grasp without feeling overwhelmed. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so now that you know why you need a budget and what you're budgeting for, let's take a look at how to create an actual budget. Now a budget is consistent of three things. It's consistent of your income, your expenses, and your expenses are broken down into wants versus needs. So your expenses that are wants versus your expenses that are needs. So income, expenses as needs, and expenses as wants. And that's truly it. Now I know that sounds so simple, like I said, but those are the things that you need to look at. How much money are you bringing in each month, each paycheck, each pay period? If you're getting a gift a certain time of year, if you are making additional income on the side, how much income are you bringing into your household? That's the first thing that you want to figure out, and that's the first thing that goes on the very top of your budget, is what are you bringing in? Then under that, you start with your expenses, and you go by your needs, which are your four walls, so your shelter, so your home, basically like your rent or mortgage, whatever bills you have associated with your home, food and clothing and transportation. So those are the four necessities. Those are our four walls that we did go over, and those are the four necessities, and those are the things that you have to survive. Now there are additional things that are going to be in your expenses that are needs category, because you might have things that are, you're paying off debt or things like that. So those will become needs as well that are expenses. However, those can go into a different category, which we'll get into once we get to baby step number 2. But for now, we're just looking at our needs and our very basic expenses. After you look at what your needs are for your expenses, you want to go ahead and move on to your expenses that are wants. So what are the things that you have or that you're paying for that you'd like to pay for? Right? So what are the things that aren't necessities but that you do spend money on, that you can cut back, the certain areas that you're spending money on? For example, going out to the movies, eating out. If you have your food covered over here in your needs expenses, you don't necessarily need a food category, right? That's not a need, that's a want. So that's the difference there. So look at your expenses. So over here we've got our income, and then our expenses that are needs, and then over here we have our expenses that are wants. You're going to subtract from your income the expenses, both the needs and the wants, and then you'll get a total for what you have either left over or the discrepancy that you have. Now if you have, like I think most people end up having, a discrepancy, then that means you need to pare back. So those things that are wants that you have on that list, cut them away. Start to take them out and see what is truly a want versus what is truly a need. Now depending on your situation, this can get really, really bare bones. I don't want you to freak out because this is just temporary, right? If you find that you've written down your needs versus your wants and your income is completely depleted by just the things that are absolute necessities, or maybe you are like paying off debt and you just don't have any additional income to put towards those things that are wants, just know that this is temporary. This is a solution to your financial problem. So go ahead and look at your budget, create the budget, and if you need some help for how to manage it or how to input things and see things really clearly, go ahead and take a look at our last video that we talked about 3 budget tools that will help you. Choose one of those and plug in your numbers, and I will see you tomorrow. We will talk more about our budgets. Thanks guys so much for watching. I promise this would be short and sweet. But have a great day, and don't forget to like the video if you've enjoyed it and subscribe for more. I will see you tomorrow.